Now we are looking at square roots. Square roots backtracking. So I have a number here. I'm going to write let me get another paper. 2,174. I want to get the square roots. I've put the quantities in my cup. I have these 4 units in this cup, 7 tenths, 100, and then the 2,000. So I'm going to put my period now. 1, 2 is a period. 1, 2, this is another period. So we have 1, 2. That means that the square root of this number will have 2 digits. The square root of this number is going to have 2 digits. So we need the binomial square guide. So we have our binomial square guide here to guide us build the square. So from our binomial square guide, we see that the first thing we are going to do is to build a square with hundreds. Here we have 1,000. We can never build a square with 1,000. So we are going to exchange this 1,000 into hundreds. So let's go ahead and do that. So I have 1,000 here. I'll exchange this to 10 hundreds. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1000. So I'm going to exchange the second 1,000 for 1000 once more. So I have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1000. So I have my hundreds now, and from the square guide, I'm going to use that to build my first square. So let's go ahead and do that. For then, when I'm building, I bring down the quantity. So let's bring down the quantity. Okay. So let's now build a square. I have a square of 1 here, but I can still go on. I have lots of quantities here. 1, I have a square of 2 here, but I can still go on. Square of 3, I have more quantities to carry on. So I built a square of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, a square of 4 by 4. I don't have enough quantities to continue. So I built my first square. I'm going to write down what I've used up. So I've 4 by 4, that is 16. I'm going to write my first square here. This is 4 squares, so I'm going to write 4 squared here, and the 4 squared, as you can see, is at 16. So I'm going to subtract that from my original quantities that I had in my cup. So 11 minus 6 is 5. So I have 5 left, and actually in my cup I have 5 hundredths left. I have 5 hundredths left. So I'm going to bring down my 7 tenths. So I bring down my 7 tenths, and on my pegboard I'm going to bring down the 7. Roll out the 7 down my pegboard as well. And if you look at our guide square with the blue pegs, we are supposed to build the rectangles. So let's go ahead and begin to build the rectangles. So the one on the right, a rectangle on the right, and then a rectangle at the bottom of the square. I have my hundredths I can exchange for tenths. 10 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I put it here. See how more to exchange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let's continue to build our blue rectangles. So done with the bottom one, can go to another layer, the right rectangle. Done, another one here. Then the bottom rectangle. Another one. I can exchange 100 for 10 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exchange again. 100 for 10 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exchange again. 100 for 10 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can continue building my rectangles. One on the right, and at the bottom of the square. Again on the right. bottom is the square. On the right, at the bottom, can go on the right, at the bottom, I have 110 left. So what have I done here? I built two rectangles of 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 by 7 and 7 by 4. So let's write that down. My rectangles. But then before we write that down, let us see what we have here. Now, the square, looking at our binomial guide, after the rectangle, or the two rectangles, we are supposed to build a square with the units. Now, the square is already determined by the arms of the rectangles. So we are going to build what kind of square here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we are going to build a square of 7 by 7. So let us see if we can do that. I'm bringing down the units I'm going to use. 4. And then let's see. We can see right away, of course, that I don't have enough units. I don't have enough units to build this square of 7 by 7 that I'm supposed to build. So what do? I'll need to backtrack. I have to remove a layer here on the right side, this rectangle, and a layer here from the bottom rectangle. So let's go ahead and backtrack to be able to have enough quantities to build our rectangle, our square. So we are going to backtrack. That means what I was going to write before here, I was going to write that we have two rectangles of 4 by 7. But since we don't have enough quantities to build the square we are going to do subsequently, we have said that we are going to backtrack. So if we backtrack, what size of rectangles are we going to have? So let's backtrack. I'll move a layer. Moving the last layer here. And I will do the same thing here. Remove the last layer. My rectangle here. So what are the sizes of my rectangles now? I have two rectangles of 4 by 6 and 6 by 4. So I'm going to write that down. So rather than writing 4 by 7 as I was going to do before, two rectangles, I'll write that I've used up two rectangles. I will say 4 by 7 or 7 by 4. They have the same value. Oh, sorry, 6. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 by 6 and 7. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 by 4. So it's 4 by 6, not 7. So this is 6. And what will that give us? 4 times 6 is 24. 24 times 2 is 48. 48. We are going to subtract that from 57 that we originally had, 57 tenths that we originally had in our cup. So if you do that, 17 minus 8 give us 9 and then 4. So let's see if we have 9 left here in our cup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we actually have 9 left in our 10th cup. So we have 9 tenths left, and I've already brought down the units. I brought down the units from the top down here. I need to do the same thing on my paper now. I'll bring down the units on my paper. That's 4. So 94 units. And that's exactly what I have here now. 94 units. So with that, I can build the last square, which is supposed to be built with the units. So let's go ahead and do that. And of course, the size of the square is determined by the rectangle, by the 2 rectangles, as you can see here. So what square are we going to build here? We are going to build a square of 6 by 6. So let's go ahead and do that. I have my units to exchange. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So do further exchange. 10, 110 for 10 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So go ahead and exchange. 110 for 10 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm verifying to make sure that I counted correctly. Yes, I counted correctly. So I'll build my square with the units. My square of 6 by 6. Trying to build my square of 6 by 6. Continue building my square. I'm building my square. I'm building my square. To build my square. Still need to exchange 110 for 10 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's continue. So I'm done building my square. So let's see, what do we have here? We have a square of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 by 6. So I'm going to write that on my paper. Build 6 squared. And what is 6 squared? 36. We have used that up. So let's subtract that from the quantity we had in our cup originally. So 14 minus 6, 8, and 8 minus 3, 5. So we have 58 units left. Let us see if that's what we have in our cup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 tens. And let's see how many units we have here left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 58 units left. So what is the square root of 2,174? We can see the answer right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 46. And we look at here, the right hand, 46. So the square root of 2,174 is 46, with a remainder of 58 that we cannot use.